Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Kirk from LaneFlix Media. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about a movie called The Other Guys, a comedy film from 2010, directed by Adam McKay, starring Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg. This is a movie, I've seen this quite a few times. It's often a movie I just show people that want to see an entertaining or funny movie. I think it's hilarious from beginning to end, but a lot of people think it's kind of spotty, which I can understand. It's not a perfect comedy or anything like that, and I've been trying to focus on movies that I don't think are talked about enough, and also like new age stuff versus a lot of people go like immediately to like the classics, and I'll get to those, but I really want to talk about movies that I love and share them with you guys, because I think 9 out of 10 of you guys will love them too. So, The Other Guys came out in 2010. It's a movie, I believe I saw this like 2 or 3 years after it came out, and it's hilarious. Will Ferrell and Eva Mendes play a couple in it. They're really funny. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Samuel L. Jackson play these like hotshot cops, and they're really funny. I don't want to give anything away about this movie, but I will say like the dynamic between Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell is really funny. I think they went on to do 2 more movies together, the 2 daddy film movies, and they have a good comedic chemistry. Mark Wahlberg is really funny when you make him like angry, but he's only funny with that style if he's with someone that can play off that, and Will Ferrell plays off that so well. The timing in this, how angry Mark Wahlberg gets, and then how hilariously bumbling Will Ferrell is in comparison, is just like a yin-yang thing. It's like a classic comedy duo type thing. It really feels like that in this movie. There's not a lot of highbrow humor. It's pretty lowbrow, but it is a really funny movie. Trying to think. Some of my favorite parts are, because the plot isn't really detrimental, it's a comedy, so the plot doesn't really matter. I didn't want to get into that too much. There's not a lot there. Some of the scenes, there's a scene where there's a group of hobos that have a special party in Will Ferrell's Prius at one point. That's freaking hilarious. They don't show that, but they show the aftermath and like the reactions and stuff, and it's hilarious. And then there's a lot of stuff to touch. Steve Coogan is in it, and he plays kind of like a one percenter politician, businessman type guy. He's really funny in it. There's a whole, I don't remember how long it goes on, but there's a whole sequence where they go to intimidate Steve Coogan's character, and they every time get bribed. He keeps bribing them. Like one time he bribes them with like courtside tickets to the Knicks. One time he gives them the tickets to the Jersey Boys. It's ridiculous, but it's hilarious. And every time the two of them fall for it, and then Mark Wahlberg turns to him and goes, "We got tricked again, we got fooled again." And it's really funny. It's way funnier than I'm describing it, because I'm kind of bad at describing comedy. So yeah, Michael Keaton plays their captain, their police captain, and he at one point describes his struggles with his sexually confused son, which is really funny. It's a whole bit. It's really funny. The other bit with Michael Keaton in this is that he always references the titles of TLC songs, but not knowing he's doing it, or acting like he doesn't know. You don't really ever find out. But Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell are both always like, "Dude, that's TLC. What are you talking about?" He's like, "You just got creep." And that's some of the humor that I love, is like deadpan, and Michael Keaton totally pulls it off. There's a point where they take Will Ferrell's gun and give him a wooden gun, and then he gets into more trouble, so then they take his wooden gun and give him I don't want to say the R word, but an R word whistle. And yeah, it's really, really funny. Kind of demeaning Will Ferrell's character the whole movie. It's really funny. And then there's another sequence where Will Ferrell is describing to Mark Wahlberg why he loves stability so much and why he doesn't ever want to let his life go out of control. I don't want to get into that. I will just say he used to go by the name Gator, and I'll leave it at that, because just watch the movie. It's absolutely hilarious. There's a fantastic scene where Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg are meeting some of the other policemen for one of the fallen policemen's funeral, and they're all there, and two of the other cops, I can never remember those actors' names. One of them is a Wayans, and they kind of like go up to Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell and are telling them, like, you know, this is your fault and you guys are not real cops. So then they start fighting quietly, and they have like a wall of cops in front of them, so none of the other like funeral goers can see what's going on. And then Michael Keaton comes over, and he's yell whispering, and it's probably one of the funniest parts. It is one of the funniest parts of the whole movie. And then the joke with Will Ferrell being married to Eva Mendes is that he constantly is like bashing her and like, oh, whatever, dude, she's not, you know, because Mark Wahlberg comes over and meets her, and he's like, dude, who is that? That's not your wife. Who is this? And Will Ferrell just goes on. He's like, that's the old ball and chain. You know, that's really funny. So yeah, one of the running gags of the film is that Mark Wahlberg, when he was doing security at a Yankees game as a cop early in his career, he accidentally shot Derek Jeter, and he is thus called the Yankee Clipper. So he's in a therapy session for cops who have fired their firearm in the line of duty, and everyone in the group is like bashing him and telling him, you know, oh, I bet this much money on that game, and you know, you killed Derek Jeter, you know, he's a biracial angel, and all this stuff. They're just piling it on. The therapist lady is very indifferent to all. She's like, all right, let's leave him alone. All right, come on, Mark Wahlberg, you want to talk? And it's funny. Another one of the funniest parts of the film is when The Rock and Sam Jackson are atop, I don't know, 10-story building in New York, and they're only, they go out like an action movie. It's really funny. They're acting like action movie stars, but they're in the real world. So they are, you know, awesome. They got their, you know, Sam Jackson's got his duster, The Rock's got his sunglasses. They're like, yeah. And they're on top of this building, and they're like, all right, aim for the bushes. And they do their fist bump, and then they jump off the building. They literally jump off the building and like totally splat on the ground. I think it's their funeral that they're at when they're doing the whisper fight. So there's a whole bit where Will Ferrell is revealing to Mark Wahlberg his past, and what kind of kicks that off is their encounter with one of his ex-wives, I believe, Christina, and she has this very, you know, different type name, but her and her weirdo husband get like super mad at Mark Wahlberg for mispronouncing her name and calling her Christina, and the husband, like loses his mind, and they start begging Will Ferrell to get jiggy with his ex-wife and the guy's wife now, you know, so it's really weird. And then they start driving away, and they drive miles and miles away, and they're sitting there, and they're sitting in their car, and they're like, damn, man, what's going on, da da da, and they just hear the couple like running down the road at them, and they're like, oh my god, it's been like 20 miles, and they like peel off. It's some funny stuff. It's a good movie. There's a lot of comedic moments. I kind of jumped all over the place. One of the coolest parts of this movie that I didn't honestly like realize for years, just because I didn't get that much into rap. The whole film was narrated by Ice-T. And as soon as you hear that, you're like, okay, of course it's Ice-T, because it is his voice. He's got such an awesome voice, and I don't remember what else he's narrated, but he's narrated some other stuff, and he's got a good narration voice for any kind of like crime, like noir stuff. His voice, it's very brassy and like kind of smoky sounding, so that kind of, to me, it adds something to the movie that otherwise wouldn't be there. But all in all, the other guys is really funny. Like I said, I don't want to get into the plot too much because there's not a lot to like take in. It's more comedy than anything. And there's a lot of jokes I don't want to give up either. So go check it out. It's streaming for free right now on Sling TV. Please, like I said in the last video, if you know anyone that enjoys movies, that likes to watch movie discussions, please give them my account. I will follow back always. I always follow as many accounts back as I can. And you know, comment and like my videos, please, if you enjoy them. And yeah, I really appreciate the watch time. My last video did pretty well. I got a lot more likes and comments than the Blade Runner Tron, the full one. Got a lot of attention, which was great. If you know anyone that digs movies, send them my way. I've been trying to talk about movies that I don't think have enough buzz. Yeah, and thanks so much for your time. Thank you so much for watching. And leave a comment and tell me what you think. If you hate this movie, tell me. I mean, I want opinions. So, yeah. Thanks so much. I hope you have a great day.